god, the biggest news of the day, Nvidia. So this was causing a little bit of jitters because the AI bubble was being a key narrative.
Yes.
But Nvidia came here and said,
Nvidia was Atlas holding up the world. The whole stock market was dependent on how they're performing.
because they represent the whole AI push, and they represent a huge part of the S&P 500. But what do? They beat expectations by a lot. After the markets closed, they jumped 5%. That being said, my position on AI is still the same. I don't want to argue if this is a bubble or not, but rather this will be a bubble. And we humans are great at building bubbles, but just the timing of everything. I feel like there's could be more that can be gained in terms of momentum, and Nvidia proved this. Validated our hypothesis. They're always discussing about if this is a bubble, but our key focus, right? If you guys are smart and you guys on Tuna channel, is what to do because there's a bubble, right? And we have 3 strategies there.
Speaking of bubble, this phrase here really speaks volume of that, because it says here, Adam Turnquist, Chief Technical Strategist for LPL Financial, said the question was not whether the company would beat expectations, but by how much. So if they keep beating expectation, they're just delaying and prolonging the AI bubble. But the moment that they slow down in demand, that bubble will pop.
Yes.
Because, you know, when it comes to the investments into Nvidia, apparently 40% of that actually came from the Magnificent Seven.
Yes.
So they're like borrowing from each other, investing into each other.
But the problem is everyone still needs GPUs.
Yes.
Right? There's real money coming in. So Nvidia proved that. So there's actually 2 highlights. So one is that their earnings beat expectations, so they jumped. So revenue for 3 months in October jumped 60% to 57 billion. Demand for AI chips through the roof. Right, this is what Jensen Huang was like. He was outside chilling. He said, "Yeah, we're in great shape, and this is now we see why." Right?
And he's eating fried chicken.
He was in great shape. He knew he stumbled upon the biggest gold mine in the world, and he's like, "Yeah, you know, I'm selling more and more shovels every day, and it's backordered. These Blackwell CPUs, you know, they're backordered for next year."
Yeah.
And the predictions, like the forecast for Q4, has also beat expectations as well.
Yes.
So I feel like that's where some of the market jitters has calmed down a little bit. And yet again, it goes back, right, to this idea that sure, AI might be a bubble, but there's real tech, there's real money. And I want to point this out here, right? The market jumps of 5%. Nvidia's a titan. Jumping 5%?
It's a very big deal. They're almost the market cap of crypto. That's multi-billions of dollars in 1 hour.
This just kind of validated there's a lot of conviction into the AI market. I mean, I've been in crypto for a long time. We've seen bubbles before. There can be more that can pile on, right? And I feel like this is where the pile on phase is still ramping up. I still feel that the momentum can go up. So yeah, Michael Berry, please wait another maybe 2 years. Hope he can hold out. Hope he can hold out. But for now, right, this play is coming through. Now, does that actually translate to crypto? Today's video is brought to you by BloFin. So BloFin is a up and coming exchange listing both spot and futures, so you can get your altcoins. On top of that, you can trade very aggressively on this platform. What's interesting about BloFin is that because they're up and coming, they're really trying to look after you with really new bonuses. So if you're joined today, you have over 5,600 USDT worth of trading bonuses waiting for you. And on top of that, they have lower fees. They actually have a 0 fees all month. So if you want to go in and join now, in November, they have this 0 fee month. So up-and-coming exchanges I actually find are really good for 2 particular reasons. One is because they list new coins faster than everyone else, because, you know, they have to be on that bleeding edge. And on top of that, they have more aggressive VIP strategies. So guys, if you are interested in BloFin, make sure you check out BloFin and get those rewards right now and enjoy 0 fees this entire month. Now, this is actually quite interesting because crypto's being a little bit silent.
Kind of underperforming too.
Yeah.
Honestly. So looking at BTC right now currently, this was when Nvidia's earnings came out.
Right.
Yeah, it did pump.
It did
pretty
pump.
good.
Well, it recovery pumped.
It's like, you know what I mean?
It kind of dispelled a few rumors.
Yeah.
But that being said, we didn't actually reach beyond 100K. We're still at $92,000. This is still at a point where people consider us in the death cross zone. right?
Yeah.
A lot of traders are waiting for the 2-week confirmation. We actually slipped below the 50-week moving average. So we need to see more momentum here. So why do you think that is, Ron?
I think a lot of investors around the world are in risk-off mode based on what's happening in Japan. I think no one in CT is paying attention to what's going on in Japan. This is Forex intervention.
Right.
We have a problem. Yeah. Oh my God. First and foremost, we have a big problem with the Japanese yield. This is the government bonds 10-year yield, Japan. Yesterday was just at 1.7%. You see how it just keeps climbing and climbing? Japan's goal right now is to reduce the debt to GDP ratio. All right. And how are they going to do that? They're going to stimulate the economy. We've got an aggressive prime minister in Japan who is already advocating to raise interest rates. But the problem is, for Japan, you've got inflation causing a bit of issue, wage inflation on top of that, and you also have US dollar rising against yen. Oh my God, it's 157. I swear this was just 154 a few hours ago. And the main thing is, it's very problematic because these yields cannot be sustained. It's not sustainable because how are they going to reduce their debt to GDP ratio if they got a yield like this? It means no one's picking up their money. They don't want the yen. And if they don't do anything about it, the yen will break. The game of cheap money is over. If they're raising their interest rate and US is holding off on cutting their rates, the borrowing cost will be very high.
So this is where it's all relates to the leverage that's going on in the market. The market used to rely on Japan to play leverage games, right? Japan was very cheap to borrow from. We saw the carry trade. And we saw that because every time that Japan kind of talks about interest rates, right? It's all intertwined. Every time Japan talks about interest rates, people who are looking for leverage, people who are looking at leverage rates, they're going to jitter. They're going to cause some jitters in the market, right? So this is the thing that's not being said right now. This is where you guys heard it here first. I feel a lot of times when we heard about the Japan carry trade last time, everyone was freaking out. Like, oh, what's the Japan carry trade? Right? So, but here we are actively monitoring what's happening in Japan because it's going to drastically affect how markets are playing out. So 10-year government bond yield is going up, right? A lot. And you can see that spike up. That means cheap yen is no longer going to be available, cheap yen to borrow, right? And it's going to cost more to borrow. So then there's going to be less and less leverage on the market. So that's actually not good. Not good. So there's something we need to really keep an active eye on. And then Ron is actively talking about it on Ron's trades as well. So make sure you guys take a look, all right? It might not affect, you guys might be all looking at what the Feds are doing, all right? We'll talk about that in 1 second. But what Japan is doing or what they will do is actually relatively important and has a global consequence on the markets. Okay, so let's talk about Fed Watch here. We almost saw the probabilities for the Fed meeting. The rate probability is at 50-50 before, but now it's actually just tilted to 32%. Two-thirds. So kind of explain what's happening, Ron.
So I think the nail in the coffin for no rate cut happened last night. This was minutes before. This was the FOMC meeting minutes, which coincidentally was, I think, an hour before the Nvidia earnings came out. So 2 big catalysts last night, right? What is going on? So give me the TLDR. How is this going to impact Bitcoin? So they're saying the Feds will be ending quantitative tightening on December 1.
Expected.
We already know. However, minutes revealed significant internal divisions, with many officials viewing December cuts as likely not appropriate due to persistent inflation risks. Inflation seems to be a big problem still in America. And also the problem of the labor market in the US is not really helping them at all.
We're going through a massive change, guys. And I feel like the world economy was set up for non-disruption, but we are witnessing the black swan events right now. We saw jobs dropping across the US, like non-farm jobs. And I was making a joke. We're saying maybe we should go farming again, right? Actual farmers, because AI, in its current form, whilst it cannot replace a lot of these technical jobs, people are seeing that the possibility of it coming through, right? Which is why everyone's plowing money into developing more AI, kind of doubling down on AI. And just think about it. AI really didn't come like 2 years ago. We didn't really have this discussion. GPT-2 was absolute shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. We barely used it for any articles or any analysis of this type. But for us, we're pushing AI because we're feeling, okay, can we use this for additional like summaries and stuff? And you can see that's coming through, right? And you can see that potentially the job market is going to change, and the Feds, they're a little bit more confused than before. But overall, this is a very key time to watch the markets. I feel like this is where it's not just about trading, it's also about discovering and adapting to the market's change. So I kind of view this market as a dance. And then the next step has come in, so now we're gonna have to kind of follow and also lead a little bit to make the money from it.
Yeah, because if we're throwing the idea, like throwing it out the window, the 4-year cycle, throwing it out the window, then in the grand scheme of things, the bull market is just postponed. Okay, it's not over, guys.
It's not over.
That's what I think. Okay, not financial advice.
Not financial advice, but I actually feel a lot better. Okay, so it's not the best case scenario. So just going back to Bitcoin and very quickly looking at it, right? So yes, we recovered. We kind of recovered from the sub 90K for Bitcoin. Ethereum, we're gonna discuss it as a separate topic. But it's not looking super strong yet. I think it doesn't have the exuberance that we're seeing in the stock market. But I feel like there's a huge. Okay, so this is. There's one thing that's we have to discuss here, which is Abu Dhabi, right? World governments are starting to increase their stake on Bitcoin, right? And this is one of my reasons why I don't really believe in the 4-year cycle anymore. The 4-year cycle was really dependent on, I mean, I looked at a lot of TA this past week, and I saw a lot of people looking back in the past, right? Okay, the past is a good reference point, but the past traders of Bitcoin used to be the general community. It used to be a lot of people with a little bit of money. Now it's small amounts of people with a fuck ton of money, right? So Abu Dhabi, they just tripled their stake in their Bitcoin, and they're trying to look at this as a global currency because they see, you know, if the US dollar is weakening, right, what currency should it hold in their sovereign fund? And tripling this means that there's more confidence. And I'm not even going to look at the total amount right now, right? Because when you triple something, that means you have a lot of conviction. So what are gonna do next, right? Triple more, right? So I feel like this is where, guys, look at what the small smart players are doing, right? Governments are buying in, completely different party from before, completely different ball game. So this is something to keep an eye on. They're investing more whilst everyone is dumping. Michael Saylor also buying more. Right? People with conviction, people who know what's going to happen next are buying. They're not just looking at what happened in the past, but they're looking, okay, look, right? If this is longer than a 4-year cycle, if Bitcoin hasn't reached this top yet, then holy shit, we have money to be made. Right? So I think that's one key to remember here. All right, guys. Thank you guys so much for tuning in today. So we're going to do a lot more trading focused material, but make sure you tune to this channel and the second channel, Ron Trades. He's doing more live streams for more Q&A topics. So guys, join in on the fun. Make sure you don't fall asleep right now. Do not fall asleep on the wheel because the calendar has so many events coming up. It's not even funny. So make sure you stay tuned, keep up to date, and we'll see you in the next update.
Shout it out!